What is your advice in trying to build a culture of honor and revival amongst opposition?
Well, you can always be honorable towards anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be opposed and still be honorable. Did it say culture of honor?
Yeah, build a culture of honor and revival amongst opposition.
Yeah. In a relationship between two people, let's say I'm dishonorable towards you, you're honorable towards me. Unless I change, we won't develop a culture of honor.
Mm-hmm.
A culture takes participation. It's the influence, and it's an environment that people have chosen to live in. It's standards for life that people have chosen to live under.
Yeah.
And so as far as a culture of honor, at some point there's going to have to be a change in the will, in the heart of the people involved. But you can always live honorably. You can live honorably. I can live honorably towards my neighbors, friends, acquaintances that maybe dishonor me, maybe speak evil of me. I can still treat them honorably, respectfully. That's my responsibility.
Yeah.
In a church setting, they also mention revival, right?
Culture of honor and revival.
Culture of honor and revival. I don't know if this is what they're looking for, but I can tell you how I do it when I'm ministering in a church or when I came here to Reading. What I do is I present what I believe God is saying. I present what I believe God is doing. I demonstrate whatever I'm capable of demonstrating in that setting. Let's say, for illustration's sake, let's say there's 100 people in the room, and I can tell there's a number of people that don't like what I'm doing.
Yep.
I can also tell there are some that are being changed tremendously. If I'm bringing a public message, I'm going to always try to speak to everybody in the room. I don't monitor the success by the 50 people that are wanting to walk out of the room.
Gotcha.
If I did that, I'd be depressed all the time because there's always opposition. Instead, what I'm going to do as a pastor is I'm going to pour my time into the five people whose eyes are on fire when I talk.
Yeah.
I'm looking around the room and I can see 5 that are being dramatically changed, 20 that are asking questions, 50 that want to leave the room. I'm not going to pour my time to chasing the 50.
Yeah.
For me, that's a lost cause. It doesn't mean I'm going to give up on them. Doesn't mean I'm not going to love them. Doesn't mean I'm not going to speak and to serve them. It just means they don't get the priority of my time.
Yep.
I'm not going to chase somebody who doesn't want what God's called me to do and to be.
Yeah.
I'm not going to chase them.
Yeah.
What I will do is I'll pour my time into the people that are being impacted by what I have to offer, what I have to give, the word, whatever the Holy Spirit is doing. Those are the people that get my time. And I'll tell you why. Their breakthrough there's a certain wall of separation between the pastor and a congregation, especially when you first arrive on the scene.
Yep.
You can do whatever you want to try to get rid of it. You have a position, a title. They don't. It just is there. You can try to be as friendly, as open, as transparent as you want, but there's still that demarcation. So what I do is I'm going to pour myself into the 5, so to speak, because their breakthrough will spread through the group more than my breakthrough will. Because my breakthrough in their mind is, well, he's the pastor.
Yeah.
And so that's why when we came here, that one of the first Sunday nights, we had hundreds of people around the front of the room, and the Holy Spirit came. I invited him to come with power. He came, and he came powerfully on one person. And the whole front of the auditorium is filled with people.
Yeah.
And the Spirit of God fell on one person. And Mom and I looked at each other and we went, we got it.
Yeah.
It's unstoppable now.
Yeah.
Because it's the cloud the size of a man's hand. You can't measure the breakthrough by numbers. You have to measure it by authenticity. Is it him? That's breakthrough.
Gotcha.
Now, if you will give attention to what he's doing without stumbling over what he's not doing, the appearance, the however many people are in the room that aren't being impacted.
Yeah.
I can stumble all day long over that. Or as one who is wanting to fuel the work of God in the earth, I'm going to pour my time into that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to give honor to what he's doing in that
This is a big deal, especially for pastors, not
Yes,
just
it
the
is.
positional, but the people that really have the heart of a pastor,
Yep.
because they're so torn between the ones that
Yeah.
are not embracing it or whatever. They're torn, but so your advice really applies to that.
Yeah.
How how to ask this? Maybe you've already answered. If you have, then we can move on. If we were to address a group of pastors, not just people that have a position, but they have the heart of a pastor, and they still, how do they balance that tension, I guess, between the ones over here? You got the ones that are ready to run. They got the fire in their eyes, and then you have the ones over here that they're not. They're ready to leave the room. You just kind of not ignore them. You have any input on that?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I didn't ignore
Yeah.
any of those. I would love them. I would serve them. If, just practically, before church service starts, I'm out with the people, I'm shaking hands, I'm talking to people, I'm treating everyone as though they love the move of God.
Yeah.
I talk to
There you go.
everyone the same.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing what happened? Even though I know this person's struggling, that person's struggling, I'm not going to come to them defensive. I'm not going to come to them trying to convince them of something. I'm just going to try to be as normal as I know how to be, and that's to celebrate what God's doing. So that's what I do, and I spend time with the folks before the service, after the service, interact, serve, pray together. Somebody comes up and says, "I've really been struggling with what's happening." I understand. I've had my struggles too, and I try to serve them as best I can. It's never pointing the finger saying you don't love God or you don't love the move of God. That doesn't accomplish anything.
Yeah.
I do have a responsibility to monitor and to be involved in what He's doing.
Yeah.
And it's a personal. I don't know that everyone has the same responsibility, but I know that I do. I know that I have a responsibility to link myself to a movement that God is doing in the earth, and to make sure, that I do the best I can to communicate with the people what I sense God is saying and doing. So that's where I give my life. That's where I give my time. But it'll never be at the expense of loving a person. I had people come in my office, they say, we can't be here. We can't be a part of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I would hug them and love them and bless them and encourage them. If I see them downtown, I don't, don't tell them you should be back here. I don't. That's not necessary. I bless them where they are.
Mm-hmm.
We've had people say, we know this is a move of God. We just can't be involved in it. People that were friends that prayed us here for years. It's crazy. We know this is God. We just can't do it.
Wow.
And so you love people. You just love people. They don't have to attend Bethel for me to celebrate who they are. And quite frankly, a number of the folks that left, since we're talking about that, they went to churches in town. I know the pastors, and the pastors are equally hungry for a great move of God.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll go at a different pace. And that's probably what's good for them, for the people.
Yeah.
And that's only right. I celebrate that.
Yeah.
I know these guys. I spend time with them, and they're hungry for God. And when we are together, we just celebrate the goodness of the Lord, what He's doing.
Yeah.
And some of the people that were here are now there. That's not a loss.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the Lord's about to do something new, He usually rearranges His army. So you just get used to it.
That's good. Good.